Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Verde Valley Experiences live from the office series. Hope that your family is well and you are doing well, and we really appreciate you joining us. Thank you for allowing us into your homes to continue bringing you this program. And of course, we love talking about our local friends and family here and the great programs that are available. Even with quarantine, even with social distancing, you can still touch the lives of others in our community. You can still enrich your own lives through distance learning. You can still join in on open mic nights. I love how resilient we are as a species, as human beings. On today's show, we're going to talk with Ken Zoll. He's the executive director of the Verde Valley Archaeology Center. They have several distance learning programs coming available, and they are free. Can you believe that? They're free through June. You want to go ahead and register for that now. And if you're a member, they'll be free forever. But until June, you can join in for free. Great stuff if you're an archaeology buff. Then we'll talk with Shanna Smith. She's the Verde Valley Program Coordinator for the Foster Grandparent Program. Now that program puts wonderful people 55 and over into classrooms to help with children, to help with their lives and their schooling, and be that steady, solid rock in their lives sometimes. Very, very necessary, of course, with social distancing and quarantine. That's changed a little bit, but thank God for the virtual platforms because they're still going strong. Shannon will talk about how you can still get involved in that, how it's needed more than ever now that we're all shut-ins, basically. The kids really need that social interaction, even if it is virtual. Then we'll talk with Rosemary Liversedge. She is the AmeriCorps project director for the state. Lovely, lovely young lady is going to tell us about her experience with AmeriCorps and about the different amazing programs that you will want to get involved with to help with the opioid crisis or pain management or furthering the education for someone who may not have that ability to do that on their own. Well, you can help them with that. Then we'll have a wonderful music session with Leslie and Larry Latour, one of our favorite couples from the Verde Valley. We are so fortunate. The virtual platform is letting us connect with them. They are doing a live show every Tuesday at 5 p.m. on Larry's Facebook page. So they continue to spread their love and joy through music for us, and we can connect and see them live, these wonderful people, no matter where they go. I just really do. There are some good things about this virtual connection. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Another great show for you. So stick around. Got lots of great things to talk about.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
Welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. I'm now here with Ken Zoll, the Executive Director of the Verde Valley Archaeology Center. Thank you so much for joining us. A fellow art lover, I see.
Pleasure to join you. Those are my paintings. I paint here as well.
I had no idea you were a painter, Ken. You are a fan of many.
I paint and I sculpt, you know.
Wow.
Well, I got nothing else to do.
Oh my gosh. So tell me, during this time of self-imposed shutting ourselves in, have you done a lot of paintings?
That's right. Of course, my time locked in has been developing online courses, which is why you're contacting me.
Well, there you go. See, always the worker bee, Ken, you know, that's how it works. So tell us how the Verde Valley Archaeology Institute has been going along with the new times, you know, with, I know that the center has been closed for a while. Do you have any idea of when it will open?
Well, yeah, we closed pretty much middle of March when pretty much everybody else did. Right now, we probably will open when they open Montezuma Castle. And so we're keeping in touch with them, and when they get their guidance, we'll make a decision with that. What we'll probably end up doing is, it's always been free, it'll continue to be free, but a lot of museums are going to what they call timed entry. And so you get a ticket, even though it's free, but it'll be a specific time for you to come in and get out. And then the next group can come in so that you kind of space people as they want to come in. So we're probably going to start working with that system next week. It may take us a month to get it up, but hopefully by the end of that, we'll be ready to open up.
Great. Well, that'll be great to hear. It's one of my favorite museums in the Verde, and it's sad that it's been closed, but we get it. And now you're looking forward to opening up. But the interesting thing that has been sweeping the world, I've noticed, are distance learning classes, online classes offered everywhere in all kinds of different study areas. You've got two that you're going to be doing: Archaeology of the Verde Valley and Rock Art of the Verde Valley. Tell us about those classes.
Right. When we decided to get into distance learning, it was something we've always had on our back of our minds, but this situation kind of pushed it to the front of the line. And so we started with the two, the Archaeology of the Verde Valley. If you sit through the whole thing nonstop, it's about 90 minutes of slides and lectures, talk. And there's a little quiz at the end of each chapter, but there's a chapter, it starts off with the Paleo and Archaic Indians, and then it goes into the Sedona, then it goes into the Yavapai, the Apache, and then since the Sedona ended up becoming the Hopi, we have a chapter on the Hopi as well. And so each chapter ends with a little quiz. And then the Rock Art, we have a book that the center publishes, the Rock Art of the Verde Valley, and so that class is basically a follow along of that book. So there's a chapter on what is it, who made it, how did they make it, what does it mean, things like that. So, and that class is about, maybe 60 minutes if you sit straight through it. So as you said, they're free now through the end of June to everybody. And then after July 1st, that'll be free only to members. And then there'll be a nominal fee for others who may want to watch.
Wow, that's fantastic. And that's great of you to offer it for no charge. That's for all these people who are probably hungry for learning after being, stay at homes for a while. But as of July 1st, they'll only be for free for members. And memberships are incredibly reasonable. Tell us about your membership program there.
Well, we have a variety of levels of membership. The entry level is $35, and that's for a whole family for a year. And of course, it goes up to $1,000 depending on how generous you want to be and how many extra little benefits you want. But it starts off at $35.
Wow, that's extremely reasonable. And as a member, if we become a family membership for the $35, what does that get? What does that get for us?
Well, $35 basically gets you the classes. It gets you discounts in the gift shop when it opens. When we do classes, live classes, it'll be discounts for that. We will probably announce that we'll be building a new building probably in a couple months. And that'll take about a year. And when that new building is built, it'll be a much, much larger museum. And again, the membership will get you in free for that.
Wow, that's great. How's everything going with the new site? I know that you have that beautiful walking path and you're working on the native garden. How's everything going with that?
Right, that's going well. The garden is going well. We have two people working it. One is an intern with Northern Arizona University in archaeobotany. And so he is working the garden. The trail has been cleared. By the end of the month, we've been told they're going to start putting in the curbs and the pavement. So June might be a little difficult to get in there when they're working on the road. But when that's all done, that'll be a pretty nice, easy entry into that area. And the project for the building is coming along. We got just one last final step, and hopefully have that done in a couple of weeks. And then we'll start finalizing our plans.
Wow. I love how you keep steadily moving on despite what's going around you. You just keep moving forward and with great leaps every year. It seems you reinvent yourself to something more amazing. Where do you get your drive, Ken, to do all this?
It's just, I enjoy doing it. I'm retired, so I don't need the money. So I'm doing this just as a volunteer, but I really enjoy it. And we have a really great board and they're very supportive. So that helps.
Very good, very good. Now, these programs that we've been talking about, they're offered through the Verde Valley Archaeology Field Institute, which is an educational program of the Archaeology Center. So this seems to be its own thing.
Yes, it actually started when we approached the National Park Service. They have a program for official nonprofit educational partners. And when we approached them, they said, well, you kind of have to have a separate little division that's just educational that we would work with. And so every other group like the Petrified Forest, National Association, they also have a field institute. The Grand Canyon has a field institute. So these organizations create a separate educational group, and you keep different records. You keep how much you charge and all that. Theoretically, they can come in and audit anything you do in conjunction with them. And so we had to create the institute. And so we run all of our tours, we run all of our classes, we run all of our lectures through the educational division, which is the Field Institute.
Wow, that's really neat. That's really neat. Do you have people just in charge of that? I know that you have some people in your office, and of course you have volunteers. Do you have folks that just run that for you?
Right, we have people that, some of them are retired teachers, one's a retired superintendent of schools, and so, and we work with the university, Northern Arizona University on that. And so we're going to be developing more educational programs as we go. Right now, we're so busy with the reacting to the virus situation, and then starting to build our new building and such. When we get the new building going, we'll have a lot more offerings on a variety of things.
Oh my gosh, yes. And if we go to the center, right there on Holman Street in Camp Verde, we can see those great plans that you have laid out for the new building and the path around it and the native areas. And of course, if we wanted to take a walk, get out in the air and enjoy some archaeology, do some learning, we can go see your wonderful walk that you've created there. Please tell people how to get to that location.
Well, the property and the trail, you would, if you're on 260, you go east on 260 as though you're going to Page or whatever. And when you get over the interstate, when you get over I-17 on 260, the very first stoplight is Homestead Parkway after the interstate going east. And you take a left on Homestead Parkway. Right now it's paved for about a block, and you look straight ahead, it's a dirt road, and you can see our split rail fence boundaries, and you just keep going there. There's an entrance right there, and the trail is a 0.41 loop trail with interpretive signs along the way, benches if you want to sit down. We get a lot of people walking their dogs in the morning, a lot of people walking their dogs at night. But it's a nice little trail, easy to get to.
Excellent. Thank you for that. I know it's beautiful. We had the pleasure of meeting you there. Well, any information that you need on these distance learning classes or anything happening at the museum or the new building or how you can donate or volunteer, you can go to verdevalleyarchaeology.org. That'll get you there. Ken, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you. Keep up the good work.
It's a pleasure. Always nice to be with you.
Awesome. Thank you. And we'll be right back with more of the experience, so don't go away. Sweet. Thank you, sir.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We're now here with Shanna Smith. She's the Verde Valley Program Coordinator for the Foster Grandparent Program, which is an amazing program under the Senior Corps, which is just amazing. Shanna, thanks for joining us. This is really on the road. Joining us live from your car. That's great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So I really love this program, and I know it falls into a larger program called the Senior Corps, which is hosted by NAU, and it's got 3 different volunteer service programs, one of which is the Volunteer Grandparent Program. There's also Senior Companion and RSVP. Adults age 55 and older can be positively impacting their local communities while we are #alone-together. Yes. Very important right now. I know a lot of us are feeling very socially isolated. And at this point, we're all going, oh my God, I need some people. So how's everything been going with the Foster Grandparent Program during this time? I know schools are shut down. As everybody's doing Zoom, I guess.
Yes. It's been going good, actually. The corporation had an emergency closure kind of stipend that they provided all the volunteers, so they're still able to get their stipend. And then we're doing weekly Zoom check-ins for program requirements, but the volunteers are just so amazing. They've kind of taken on some other roles during this time, like within the guidelines of the schools and the teachers. They've sent out personalized letters to all their students that they serve, just, you know, letting them know that they still think of them and they still care about them, because we're probably all a little worried about certain children, right? That, you know, some kids are doing fine at home, we're sure, and some kids we worry about, you know, and we know that that's one of the good things about having a grandparent in your life, so that at least one person in their lives know that someone cares about them, you know. So they still have that because the volunteers are keeping in touch with them, and that some of them have figured out Zoom on their own and they're joining the virtual classroom and you know, saying hi to the children and checking in with them that way. And so they're just amazing.
Wow, that's really great. Stepping up to the challenge. I know if, you know, some grandparents are like me, and I'm not a grandparent, but I'm a technophobe. So having to do things on computers, like, oh my God, torture. But we all seem to have stepped up to that. And it's wonderful that everyone can keep in touch with their children. And I hear what you mean. Some kids are doing great at home and some kids not so much. So it's wonderful that they can keep up on that. Now, going forward, what does it look like for the program, you know, as we attain our new normal here? What does that mean for the volunteers?
Well, we're not sure. We're kind of like the rest of, you know, the world. We're just taking it one day at a time, but we know we're going to be here for, you know, our communities. We just don't know exactly in what capacity. So right now, you know, we're adhering to the guidelines of the CDC, and so we won't be back in school this school year, just, you know, just like the children won't. But we're still recruiting, and the only piece is, you know, we have to wait until they're able to get fingerprints, but I'm still taking applications. We can still start the application process, and I'm training volunteers through mailings right now. And so I've had 3 new volunteers come on since, you know, the quarantine started. So we're still going. We're still going to be helping students. We just don't know what that exactly is going to look like. Is it going to be in, you know, like a computer format? Is it going to be more of a support of getting materials ready, you know, like some of them have been doing already? So we're just kind of taking it day by day, but we know we still have the funding, and we're still wanting to serve the community and our students. So
that's wonderful, Shanna. That's wonderful. So what is expected from a foster grandparent? Tell us how that works.
So the foster grandparents, like you said, have to be 55 and above. They have to have, you know, like children. That's really helpful. And there are some income guidelines. And so I can go over that, you know, if people want to know exactly what those income guidelines are, because it's a federal program. Like you said, we're Senior Corps, so we're like AmeriCorps and Peace Corps, but we're the Senior Corps. We're a federal program. So there's that requirement. And then being able to volunteer 10 hours a week. Did I already say that?
Volunteer 10 hours a week. That's not bad. That's not bad. What I like about the program is it's like a swinging door. It goes both ways. You're enriching the lives of children, but you're also enriching your own life. You know, a lot of seniors may be too far from family, or, you know, their friends, or maybe are getting older or things like that, and maybe they don't have grandchildren, or maybe they have lots and they want more. You know, this is a great way for them to self-enrich as well as help the community. So it's a fabulous program, because a lot of programs are great, but they're somewhat one-sided. You're here and you're helping this person, and this is great, and you're getting the value of the service. But the foster grandparent program is really, both sides are getting a huge benefit. So it's a wonderful program to volunteer for.
I think so.
Now, if someone wants to volunteer, what's the first step? How do they contact you now?
They can call me, 928 707-0295.
Okay, great. Yes, let's give a phone call instead of emailing. All we seem to do right now is email. Let's hear each other's voices. Let's give each other a call. So if you have questions about the foster grandparent program, call 928-707-0295. Shannon will help you out with that. I know you do have an event coming up, and I know we're going to talk about that a little later as well. The Day of Sharing virtual event on May 14th. So I know that's coming up. What's that going to mean, that event for the foster grandparent?
We're hoping to, get more information out of the program, about the program, and let people know that we're still taking applications. So, because and now's the time that we could get that training, those 20 hours of training in, learn something new, and, people have a little bit more time now. So it would be, and the students are going to really need that extra support when school starts again.
That's true. It's going to be a bit of a culture shock for everyone when they go back to school after having the pleasure, for most people, pleasure of staying home and doing homeschool. Once it starts up, they're going to need a little support and a little friendly comments on how to keep life going. Everything has changed now. So I applaud you for working through these times and continuing to work with people in new ways in order to keep the foster grandparent program going. I know that everyone has had to readjust and relearn how to get things done. Us here at the Verde Valley Experience included, the new normal, as they say. But I love that you're like, yep, we're positive, we're moving forward, we're still doing this, we're still training volunteers, we're still getting it done. We've got events happening, other programs to talk about, things like that. It's really, enlightening to see that is still happening, and it hasn't put a damper on your spirit. And I hope that folks watching who are interested in taking part of the foster grandparent program, again, you gotta be 55 or older, and there's some guidelines there, willing to volunteer for 10 hours a week. There's 20 hours of training. The training can be done virtually, Shanna, is that correct?
Yes. And if you don't have an internet connection, I'll send out the materials to your mail.
Good. You're covering both the technophobes and the technologically advanced.
Yeah, and good old-fashioned phone calls, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. I hear there's been a resurgence in phone calls lately. So, well, that's wonderful. Shannon, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to meet with us on the road, really an on-the-road segment here. With Shanna Smith, the Verde Valley Program Coordinator for the Foster Grandparent Program here in the Verde Valley. Wonderful, wonderful program. If you want to be involved in that, you can call 928-707-0295. Awesome, Shanna. Thank you so much. You have a great rest of your day. And we'll be
you too.
Thank you. We'll be right back with more of the experience.
Been hearing about the crazy benefits of CBD? Find out how CBD can help you at Sedona's #1 resource, CBD Sedona. Come in for a free consultation and let our trained medical staff help you find the perfect product for you. Pain relieving salves, full spectrum oils, honeys, teas, cookies, and even CBD for pets. Ready to feel fantastic? Come on by CBD Sedona today.
With too many senior homeowners falling short in their retirement dreams, there may be great news for you. A reverse mortgage may be the answer. The flexibility it provides may help you with your retirement dreams, peace of mind, and quality of life in your retirement. For your in-home, no-obligation consultation, contact me at 928-225-7418. That's 928-225-7418. Or you can find me at Facebook at Jim Hostler, Reverse Mortgage Specialist.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in Uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family-friendly, open 11:30 to 9, late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. I now have the pleasure of being here with Rosemary Liversedge. She is the AmeriCorps Project Director. So we're going to talk about AmeriCorps now, all the great projects and programs involved with those guys and all the amazing stuff they do in this incredible nationwide program. But we're fortunate to have outlets for it here in the Verde Valley. Thank you, Rosemary. Really appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, excited to be here and share some information. So thank you for having me.
Sure. Very, very cool. So tell us, how did you get involved with the AmeriCorps? This is a really cool story.
Yeah, so I first got involved with AmeriCorps by serving myself in AmeriCorps. So I am an Arizona native and grew up here, but after college, I was looking for some different opportunities and ended up in Salem, Oregon, serving in the Oregon State Service Corps as a volunteer myself. And then after that, moved back to Arizona and worked for ASU and then NAU in different roles. And then the opportunity opened itself up to serve actually on the AmeriCorps staff side of things, running a college access program, kind of combining my experience in AmeriCorps and college access work. So it was very unique to end up on this side of things. And that was about 4 years ago that I've been working on the staff side of AmeriCorps.
Wow, that's really neat. And that says a lot about AmeriCorps, that after being a volunteer with it, you decided to pursue a career. That really does say a lot. So for folks that are sitting out there that may not be familiar with AmeriCorps, in a nutshell, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as, I always like to start out with calling it the domestic version of the Peace Corps. That's a common description because a lot of people recognize that. And it is an opportunity to serve through the federal government, just like the military or the Peace Corps, as I mentioned. And so there's a ton of different programs depending on interests and lots of different ways to give back, but they are formal opportunities. So you're more than just a volunteer because you're committing a certain amount of time to serving the community in a very specific way. So through the NAU Civic Service Institute, we have our Arizona Ready for College and Career AmeriCorps program. So our program members support students in post-secondary planning. So things like FAFSA completion, scholarship applications, that sort of thing. And we also have our Alternatives to Managing Pain and Prevention program. So through that program, our members serve with partner site organizations around the state working with youth and young adults on preventative measures or education around substance abuse prevention. And then they also work with older adults on education and can actually provide rides and transportation through ADOT funding for those older adults to get alternative pain management treatment and learn about those ways as a way to manage their pain and combat opioid dependency. So that's one of our programs. And then we also have a VISTA program. So that's indirect service capacity building. So members in that program work behind the scenes, building databases, maybe fundraising, applying for grants. So a little bit different experience, but there's lots of different opportunities out there that can utilize and help people grow professionally.
Oh, definitely. That's a vast array of different programs. That is truly, truly amazing. Now, I know that the NAU Civic Service Institute, a sponsor for the AmeriCorps, is hosting a statewide virtual Day of Sharing event on May 14th. And that is a virtual recruitment event, which sounds really fantastic. How is that going to work?
So that's going to work through our program coordinators for our senior corps programs and our AmeriCorps programs are going to be available to just interact with people and share information, share more details about the different positions and opportunities we have. Anyone could come to learn about how they can volunteer or serve with their programs, ask questions, get to know where the opportunities are around this state. So really just an information session.
Great. Do they have to register for that? How does that get involved?
They can just contact us and get more information and get the link for the event.
Okay, very good. And if they want to contact you, what's the best phone number for that?
The best phone number to contact us is probably through our direct line. I was going to say either email would be americorps@nau.edu, or for our, let me just get our general number here, sorry.
I know you have a toll-free main line, which is 866-856-3017.
Yeah, that is the number I was going to give for that as well.
Great. So if you want some more information about the virtual event that's happening on May 14th, you want to check that out. You got plenty of time. AmeriCorps at nau.edu, or you want to speak to a human, which is a big thing these days. You know, we haven't spoken to a lot of humans in the past couple of weeks. So if you want to talk to somebody, 1-866-856-3017. That is a very, very, very cool thing. Now, what do you see from your end now working for AmeriCorps? Where do you see the need for the most people is? What programs do you think you would like to help bolster the amount of volunteers interested?
I would say all of our programs, really the three that I mentioned, are the ones that we're focused on because they're all giving back to our communities in much needed ways. The majority of our members are serving more in the cities, like in the Prescott and the Verde Valley area, Flagstaff, and in the Phoenix and Tucson areas. But really, we have positions all over the state that are working on both the post-secondary pathways, the opioid prevention, and STEM curriculum. So those are our AmeriCorps positions. So anyone really interested, and we've had people that have a variety of backgrounds and skills, so they don't necessarily need to be interested in one specific area because there's different ways that they can grow and give back and share their talents and skills. Like for instance, we've had people who were retired and just wanting to come back and share some skills and work with students, or we've had criminal justice majors serve in our college and career readiness programs. So lots of different ways to share skills. There are benefits of serving in the AmeriCorps too. So if someone is serving in a position with our programs, they get a biweekly living stipend, so something that they can utilize while they're in service. They also get a Siegel Education Award. So after their service, this could be, it's anywhere from 1,000 up to the amount of the Pell Grant, so over 6,000 depending on how many service hours they commit to. And they could use that to pay future educational expenses, or if they're over the age of 50, they can gift that to a child or grandchild. And then there's also professional development opportunities.
Wow, sounds like a win-win for everybody there. That is amazing. That is amazing. A lot going on there. If you've got some time to share and some expertise in one of these departments, that sounds like a really great thing. If you want more information about getting involved, AmeriCorps at nau.edu, or give them a call at 866-856-3017. Super easy. I love the vast differences in the programs. I mean, each thing is very, very different, whether you want to, help people with career readiness or pain management. I mean, that's a huge one. If you've got compassion, for folks and you want to share it, combating the opioid crisis, that's a really great one. And so it really seems to touch on, perhaps you're a retired teacher, or you've had some experience with, or you just love STEM education as a hobby. I really like the very different programs that you have to offer. That each one is its own individual thing, impacting the community is very, very needed. And of course, more volunteers are always needed. And hey, you know what? It also gives back to you, which is nice. Normally when you volunteer, there aren't any stipends. There aren't anything other than just knowing you're doing something great for your community, which is really all most of us need. But there is also the incentive, that biweekly stipend or furthering your professional credits, things like that. That's some really great stuff. It's a really well thought out program, I think.
And one thing that I wanted to add too is even right now, we're finding different ways to connect our members with different people in need in the community to provide additional support as people feel comfortable in serving during this time of COVID-19 pandemic as well. So we're having members make some phone calls, or even have had a couple members who have felt comfortable delivering food as well to support some other community needs that have kind of appeared for us that we didn't anticipate previously. So that's a positive thing that AmeriCorps is also doing everywhere, I imagine, all over the country.
Right, that is really great. I imagine some of the rules have changed during the light of the quarantine and what's been happening, a lot of virtual events, a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of emails and phone calls, and but there's no slack. I would definitely say there's absolutely no slack. Programs are continuing, the way that they were before, in just finding different routes to get it done. So that's really wonderful that you guys are able to step up here.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Wonderful. Well, great. Well, what would you say, as a final note, what would you say the best thing from your time of service? What did you take away from your time of service in the AmeriCorps?
I felt like it just brought a lot of clarity into my own professional interests and what I wanted to do post-service and where I wanted to go professionally. So it led me to working with students and then supporting AmeriCorps members directly, because I realized I just wanted to help other people. So I think that was one of the biggest things. And you meet so many different people because you're connected to the network at your organization that you're serving at, but also the program and then the larger network of AmeriCorps members as well.
That's great, Rosemary. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you very much for being on the show, Rosemary Liversedge, AmeriCorps Project Director. Remember, you want to give a call, 1-866-856-3017, or email americorps@nau.edu for more information on any of their programs, or if you want to get involved with the statewide virtual Day of Sharing event on May 14th. Thank you very much for being on the show, Rosemary. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more of the Verde Valley Experience, so don't go away.
Been hearing about the crazy benefits of CBD? Find out how CBD can help you at Sedona's #1 resource, CBD Sedona. Come in for a free consultation and let our trained medical staff help you find the perfect product for you. Pain relieving salves, full spectrum oils, honeys, teas, cookies, and even CBD for pets. Ready to feel fantastic? Come on by CBD Sedona today.
With too many senior homeowners falling short in their retirement dreams, there may be great news for you. A reverse mortgage may be the answer. The flexibility it provides may help you with your retirement dreams, peace of mind, and quality of life in your retirement. For your in-home, no-obligation consultation, contact me at 928-225-7418. That's 928-225-7418. Or you can find me at Facebook at Jim Hostler, Reverse Mortgage Specialist.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in Uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family-friendly, open 11:30 to 9, late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. Offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
Sometimes that's the way it goes. Sure does take a toll. Didn't think that I could do it. Never knew I could get through it. Left my baby in the high plains. Had to leave you in the dust. Had to shake off all that rust. God, I miss you so. A roller coaster, don't you know? Left my baby in the high plains. Left my baby in the high plains. Left my baby in the high plains. Couldn't carry such a heavy heart no more. Clearing out my soul. You're alone and to come carry. I had nowhere to carry you home. Left my baby in the high plains. Left my baby in the high plains. Just a shadow in my mirror. Cloud up in the sky. A dewdrop and a rainbow and a soft wind to carry you by. it's time for you to go, my friend. From the sidelines I can see just a shadow etched in snow, my friend. A ghost so peacefully. And though I'm sad that you are gone, my friend, I know at last that you are free. Deeper than the darkness for the dawn, my friend, a little cry is all they see. To come carry and to come carry, I know at last that you are free. Deeper than the darkness for the dawn, my friend, a little cry is all they see. So I'm moving on. We'll meet again. Wait for me. Rainbows and
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We now have the pleasure of being joined by Larry and Leslie Latour. We're very much on opposite parts of the country right now, but you gotta love this format that no matter where everybody's traveling, where everybody's touring, we can grab them and snag them, and boy, that does make booking musicians so much easier, I have to say. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that song. What a tearjerker. Wow, that really, pulls at the heartstrings. I loved it. High Plains. Please tell us the story behind that one.
That's your story. Well, it's our story. We both wrote it.
well, we just lost a dog. We just sold our house in Arizona, and we are consolidating, and we came back to Maine. So we got a camper and traveled back to Maine. Now, our 13-year-old, one of our 4 dogs, our 13-year-old dog, has been going through a lot. She's been going through a lot. Last 3 years, some people know about how that happens. And we thought we could get her back to Arizona, and I think the first 500 miles kind of jarred her a little bit, and she just said, "Nah, I'm not going any further," and she gave out. We were lucky enough to find a vet, and the rest of the trip was weird because she wasn't there, right? And so I think Leslie decided to process it for me and write that song. And then I took it, well, she wrote the words, and then I took it, wrote the song, and kind of, wordsmithed it and changed a few things around. That's how we write. And that's where that song came from.
Another one of those
My Baby in the High Plains.
tear jerkers that was hard to sing for a while, but
Yeah, but it's, that's where she is. Oh, so like that, the next day, we were driving on the highway after we left her.
Oh, we saw the most amazing double rainbows the next day, and we had to stop and take pictures, and we should have sent you the pictures, but the biggest double rainbows that either one of us has ever seen, and we both teared up. And
the highway drove right under
That's why the
it.
rainbow line at the end of the song.
Very good.
And the
the
idea
rainbow
of the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that rainbow, I can't even describe it. It was fully over the highway,
And it was,
and then another one fully
and there was a
over the highway.
bridge right under it too, which was kind of interesting. So we said, there she
Amazing.
is. She made it. Yeah.
Yeah, she made it. She'd make it.
Yeah.
We feel her all over the place here. You can feel her.
Everybody knows, anybody who's had an animal or two, and we might have some wander through here. We've still got 6.
Yeah, I know you guys have quite a minute. Well, thank you for sharing that song. Thank you for sharing that personal story. We really appreciate it. And what I love about you guys is you're rolling with it. even in times of quarantine, even in times of moving across the country and things like that, you are still managing to perform live and perform for your friends. And I love it, every Tuesday. So tell us about what you're doing every Tuesday so we can join you here in the Verde Valley, no matter where you are in your travels.
Oh, every Tuesday we're just doing a live Facebook at 5 o'clock your time, 8 o'clock our time, and playing a little bit of everything, so keep our chops up and hopefully bring some music into somebody else's living room. It's so neat because now you can turn on, I don't know, quarantine karaoke. I'm sure thousands of people. As a kid in Brewer, right, about 10 miles from here, that started quarantine karaoke because he thought, oh, you know, a few of us maybe right in the area that are bored can start doing this. So now I think there's
300,000?
I don't know, it's 300,000 people.
300,000. Kind of get lost in it. We don't have that many.
No.
But our little feed has people from, there's one person from South Lake Tahoe, and a few people from the Verde Valley, and a few people from Maine, and they come in and out. It's cool. There's one guy who's always talking about washing his dishes while he's listening to us.
And we've been putting a tip jar up for that, and the money goes to the homeless in our area. There are just like everywhere now, there are tent cities going up under the bridges, and so we try to help a little bit wherever we can.
Yeah, the two people here have been absolutely amazing. I'll mention the names even though this is Verde Valley. They're Shannon Denbo and Bob Kearns have for months and months and months been doing feeding the homeless. And it's really a challenge feeding a large group of homeless when the police are saying you can't gather.
Social distancing.
So they're figuring it out. They're finding ways, and we're funneling a few dollars to them as well as a lot of other people. And you have different priorities in this time, you know, like trying to figure out how to go to the supermarket. Right. Finding out which supermarket encourages wearing masks and which doesn't, and trying to figure out why it's important to wear masks, which it is, and all that kind of stuff. So
you can go to Larry Latour's Facebook page Tuesday nights to hear that. I think we're doing it on yours.
I think so, yes.
Or is it on mine now? Back and forth.
It'll either be on Larry Latour's Facebook page or on Leslie Latour's Facebook page. But I think it'll be on mine because I'm trying to work out the kinks in the technology, which everybody is.
Yes.
Interesting.
We're all working with technology right now.
Yeah,
but thank you for continuing to share your music with everyone. Even in these times of quarantine, we're able to see you live, see you play, and you know, it's wonderful to still have you in our lives, even though you're a bit far away now.
Thank you. It's good to see you. The interesting thing about the music we've been doing a lot of open mics and Zoom and a lot of meetings, things like that. The families talking, and there is an intimacy in the Zoom rooms that is different than in your studio or in a church, wherever. That is a world unto itself, which is kind of a neat thing. There's a lot of good stuff going on here too, I think.
If you haven't experienced it, you'll have 20 people in a Zoom room, and they'll all be very patient with the musician, and then there'll be this wonderful banter back and forth. When you're in an open mic in a place, the audience doesn't have the chance to have that banter. This banter is really fantastic. Zoom is bringing a lot of us musicians closer together.
And the animals get to come too.
That is great.
Here's one.
You had your animals on our show.
Here's one.
Yeah, that's right. We have two dogs on the couch. 3 dogs are on the couch. Oh,
Oh, are you gonna show? You're gonna show them?
Oh my gosh, we get the tour of the Latour's living room. Oh my God, look at that pile of dogs. I love
that. You got a pile.
3 dogs. That's cool. Tonight it'll be a 3-dog night.
There you go. So Tuesdays at 5 p.m. check out Larry Latour's Facebook page for 1 hour of live music brought to you by the lovely Larry and Leslie Latour. I love that we can keep up with you, even with the many miles away, even with the social distancing, even with the quarantine, even with any changes the world might bring us. We can always find you guys on Facebook and we can enjoy your music because we just love you and we miss you. And
Yeah, it's good to
thanks
see you.
for showing us your family.
Good to see you.
And I heard that you had Marie Giroux on.
Yes.
And I'm sure you're going to be grabbing a number of other wonderful local musicians to bring on, and I'm really going to tune in to check them out.
Well, very good. Well, thank you. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. I really
Thanks for calling us all the way up here in Maine.
Thank you for sending that note to us. That was cool.
Of course. We love you and we miss you. And thank you all so very much for joining us for the Verde Valley Experience show today. We hope that your families stay healthy and well, and that you're happy. Looking forward to getting out, and I'm looking forward to getting back in the studio when that happens. But otherwise, the Live in the Office series is going well. Always appreciate you joining us on Verde Valley TV and YouTube. And we'll see you again next time.
My father's mansion has many rooms, room for all of his children, as long as we do share his love, and see that all are free, and see that all are free to know, and see that all are free to grow, and free to open or to close the door of their own room. What is a room without a door, which sometimes locks or stands ajar? What is a room without a wall to keep out sight and sound from all? The choice is ours to share the earth with all its many joys abound, or to continue as we have and burn God's mansion down. My father's mansion has many rooms,